Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pi.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Katie.
Hi, Katie.
Hi, what's your name?
I'm Kurt.
This is my husband, Kurt. How are you, honey?
I'm a little edgy.
What's
a
up?
little frickly.
Frickly.
Yeah.
Well, I know you didn't.
A little frantic and prickly.
Oh, like verklempt?
No, frickly.
Frickly. And is that for any particular reason?
Don't jam Jewish words in my mouth.
Well, I was talking to somebody the other night who was misusing all the Jewish words, so they were in my brain.
Oh, that you can't misuse.
They were just saying they felt verklempt, and it was like not like overwhelmed, or it was about something else.
You can't misuse Yiddish.
And then they were schwitzing, and they didn't know that was sweating. I mean, it was kind of, it's a little bit of that. So I'm sorry you're frickly.
I'm all right.
I know you didn't sleep great.
I know.
Anyway. All right. So shall we?
What is Pi, Katie?
People, influences, and experiences.
How are you? How are you feeling today?
I actually feel really good today. I just took a swim. I did my 22 laps today. I'm going up a little bit.
So competitive.
You should talk, Mr. Cold
always
Plunge.
Say, I'm not competitive. And then every time I'm like, yeah, I just did 20 laps. And now you're like, oh yeah, I think I did 22.
But I feel really good. I think I'm getting better at swimming. I'm not swallowing quite as much water, which I know from, if anybody is like not a great swimmer.
Yeah, I think
I'm a swallower of water.
I think that's the idea. I think that's the idea is not to swallow the water.
Yeah. Our guest was just chiming in, and I'm sure it's about something maybe a little R-rated, just because I know her very well.
Oh.
Okay. So I think we should introduce our guest since she's been so patient.
She has been. She's been very patient.
This is
and her lips look amazing.
Her lips look great. Yeah. Oh, she's kissing us.
Wow.
This, first of all, is one of the loves of my life. I just get a little teary.
You're a little verklempt?
She may verklempt. She may get teary too, but this is definitely one of the loves of my life, as I would talk about my children that way, because I've definitely considered her familial, one of the tribe, one of mine. And I love her. And I don't even know. I told Kurt this morning that he's probably going to have to ask a lot of the questions because I know a lot about her. So even though our podcast is about not knowing about people. So anyway, please welcome my lovely Christina Applegate.
Hi, you guys.
Oh,
Katie.
Looking
You're one of the loves of my life, and you know that.
I do know that.
I do know that. I do know what Christina calls you.
What does she call me? Mommy.
Mommy.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
She does.
She raised me. I always say that if you don't like me, blame Ed and Katie, and if you do like me, it's because of them. It's because you and Eddie basically.
Oh, see, whenever you say this, I get that's so, yes.
And no, Nancy Pretty. Yes, you were a big part of it. That's my mom. But
I know, I always feel a little like, shouldn't we include Nancy in the whole
We
conversation?
are including, but I was with you more than I was with her for 11 years.
That's absolutely true.
That's the deal there.
In very formative years.
Yeah. How old?
Very 15 to 25-ish, right?
Yeah. Oh, man. That's just wild to me.
Yeah.
So, Chrissy, what we do on here is we don't talk too much about what people do, because I think everybody kind of knows what you do.
But what I do is lay in bed, Katie.
I know, my sweetheart. We can talk about that too.
No, we don't.
You look gorgeous in your bed today, by the way. This is a good look.
Well, I have to explain something I explained to you before we started, is that I am so bored. I went and see things online, like I'm wearing this lip stain that like Billie Eilish was putting on. That's what she puts on for her concerts. And I was like, oh my God, that stuff is so amazing. So I had many hours to kill today. So I just put it on and that's what's going on. Now I have these like huge like whore lips that yeah.
Well, here's my question about it, because you said it stains it for the whole day. What if you have a change of heart, like about 10 hours in, and you want to remove it? Can you?
Yes, you can. Well, you can put it on. Yeah, you can just get a wet cloth apparently, and just kind of go over it and get it off, or like whatever. But
sandpaper.
Yes, some sandpaper, a chisel.
Something
Yeah.
like that. But it won't
Yeah.
kiss off. In other
No,
words,
it doesn't kiss off. Like, no. See, they keep doing this in the
Wow.
ads. And of course, like once I clicked on the ad, now that's all I see on my social media is like ads for this shit. But I love it. It's called Seshu. I'm not being paid
Wow.
for this.
Being a
I should be
sponsor.
paid
I
because now
know.
I've got everyone I know buying it. So
Who knows?
there you have it. There
You
you
know, because
go.
you have your own podcast, which I've done called Messy. Yay,
Mhm.
Messy. And I do want to say that we've been trying to get you for the longest time, my Christina. And I'm so happy that you're here now.
That's so weird because I mean, we have talked about it. And I think, yeah, I don't know what was going on. I think it was like I don't know.
We
don't
went
know.
through somebody that was your producer.
I mean, we try
somebody.
to go through the legit channels,
Right.
especially with people who have their own pods, and we couldn't they wouldn't commit to dates, and so
Oh, I don't know who that was, but Katie and I talked because I saw that Jamie was on it, who's my partner on Messy, and I was like, "What the fuck? Why is Jamie on here before me?" And that's now
and
you
her
just gotta take
lips
it into your own.
did not look half as sexy as yours.
She's gonna get some of this
I
pretty
bet
soon,
she's
'cause I'm
gonna
sure we're
get
gonna talk about it tomorrow.
And I immediately called our producer and said, "What the fuck? Why wasn't Chrissy on here first?" And then that's when I got the information that we'd been trying and had come up against whatever schedule, whatever. Here you are.
I'm here now.
So let's talk. I mean, we know post 15 some of what went down, but let's talk pre 15. Was I don't know. One of the things we do here, or we don't do here, is research. So we sort of come in with complete ignorance and try not to know anything. Basically, we're too lazy to do anything. So, were you a child actor? Was that something you had been pursuing? And like, and where, if so, did that all take place?
Well, let's put it this way. I got my SAG card in 1974, and I was born in 71. So this was already like happening.
Yeah.
A lot of it because my mom would bring me to auditions, and then to her auditions and stuff, and then I'd get in with her or someone would meet. Anyway, I was always in it. We couldn't afford a babysitter, so I'd be in the plays that she was in. And just that's kind of how it happened. It became just part of what I am. And I never really had like a choice. It was just I'm not saying not a choice in like some creepy, stage mommy way of my mom. It's like that was just what we did. This is what we did. I have worked consistently since my SAG card, basically, and I'm 53 now.
I don't think Kurt knows this, but she was the Gerber baby.
There was a commercial for Playtex Nurser Baby, and my mom's sitting there. It's like 1972 probably. I was only 5 months old, and she's like, she burps less and spits up less, and that was it. I was in her arms. So I started there, and then she did like Days of Our Lives or something, and I was the baby in that with her.
Wow. Yeah.
And then I did radio commercials for 4 years, from the time I was 3 on, I think, and it was for Kmart, and it was with Josh Richman, whom I'm sure you know, or maybe you don't know Josh Richman. He used to walk around with a cane and no shoes back in the day. I'm sure you know Josh Richman.
Maybe.
Whatever. Anyway, we were Mr. and Mrs. Goof Proof because it was when Kmart just started doing their photo booths. Like the photo, like you go to get your pictures developed.
Pictures,
like you
right.
could never get them done that way. You had to go to like a lab.
Right.
And now they're doing this thing. So we were those kids. And it won like Clio awards and stuff, I guess. But I made enough money for my mom to invest it in a house that I ended up living in when I was 17. Just things like that were happening. And then just lots of commercials. And then I started doing episodics
And this was here in LA.
Yeah, I've always lived in the same neighborhood.
Let's not jump ahead. Let me ask.
Okay, sorry.
So did you? I mean, I actually don't know this. What years did you go to regular school? Did you go to regular school, or were you always, on?
Yeah, kindergarten to 6th, I was in the same elementary school. So I would have to leave to do episodics, but I wasn't leaving for long periods of time. Once I was in middle school, we called it junior high back then. I don't know why they changed it. Was that confusing for people? Anywho, fucking A. I started working consistently. I got one series after another, and then once I was 15, I got married. So I was but I went to Pacoima Junior High School.
Okay, that's what I
Which-
want to know. What
Right.
part of LA were you in for kindergarten through 6th grade? Pacoima?
No, kindergarten through 6 was Laurel Canyon.
Oh, then how did you get to Pacoima?
Okay, everything here, all the junior highs here were like a little bit sketchy, as were the high schools. Like a little, like for my district for LAUSD was sketchy, but in Pacoima they had a performing arts magnet. So we got bused there every day, like 45-minute drive, there every day to be at the school that was in a neighborhood that they didn't. We were just we kind of just kept to our own because we didn't quite fit into the school.
When you say we, who's we?
Just it wasn't a neighborhood that we lived in.
I say.
Right.
So, wow, it really does sound like, and I guess I didn't actually know this, that it was you and your mom,
What was
like
there,
you and your mom.
was
Like,
there a dad? Was dad part of the picture?
My father, he and my mom separated when I was about 3 months old or 5 months old, and we never looked back. But I had such a relationship with my dad all my life, and he has 2 kids, and those are my brother and sister, my half brother and sister, and a wife who, I consider a stepmom. So I did have a relationship with him. He just passed away in March, so yeah, I'm going through that of like all the things you want to say to someone that you
Right.
should have said, and all
Mm.
that
that's
crap.
the thing.
So he was in the life, but not part of your daily.
He wasn't part of the raising of
Right.
child.
Gotcha.
I would visit him every other weekend when he lived closer in Woodland Hills, and then he moved up north near San Luis Obispo, and then I rarely saw him.
Mm. So you grew up with a single mom and you were the only child. So did you grow up, and it sounds like you were surrounded by grownups. So did you feel more like a peer with your mother, or did you feel like I'm a kid and there's my mom? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I never felt like a kid. I got along with adults much more than I did with kids my own age, and because that's who I was around. I mean, she was in a playwrights kind of group that put on plays, and they had writers like Daleen Young, who wrote Little Darlings, who just passed away like a month ago. But, these incredible people, and they just throw me in the plays. So that's who I was with. I was with grownups. And it's probably why I grew up really quickly.
really
And,
quickly.
Yeah. And had to have a lot of responsibility at a young age.
Well, it sounds like you bought a house when you were in middle school.
No, I was 7 when my mom bought the house.
Yeah,
I was 7.
that's a lot.
Yeah. But I mean, I did have friends. Obviously, we lived in a canyon that all my friends were on one street. So I did have that experience of running down the street. I mean, back then you could run down the street to your friends' houses and not get like kidnapped. So,
Right.
and there were no locks on anyone's doors. And it was just a free for all of kids just roaming the canyon. And I did have that. But honestly, at 13, I'd been working so much, and I always auditioning. Like after school, I was like auditioning or in dance class or acting class or whatever. And one day I said to my mom, I don't want to do this anymore. And I just want to hang out with my friends. And that's all I want to do. And she goes, okay, I'll call your agent right now. And I said, okay, call her and say, I'm out. And within 5 minutes, I came running down the little weird stairs in our house. And I said, no, I changed my mind. It was like my body couldn't imagine my life without doing this.
Was that for love of doing it, do you think? Or is that because that's what you knew?
That's what I knew was my identity.
Right.
Mm.
Right. So I understand that.
So you never felt like it was a job, essentially? Like you felt like that's what
Life is.
I do. I don't go to play basketball after school. I go and this is what I do.
Yeah, but I mean, also, I'd run down the street to my friend's house on Lookout Mountain, and we'd smoke cigarettes and steal the parents' booze at 13. Like we were still like fucked up little kids.
Right.
But I also loved being on a set. I loved the crew, and I loved the people I would meet, and the thought of in that moment of like not having that anymore. And I think also having something to report to, something that I think somewhere in me knew that if I didn't have this, I would have ended up real not good.
Right.
Real
So
not
it
bueno.
reined you in. How did
Yeah.
other kids treat you? It's like I remember raising my oldest kids, and they would have friends that were in school that had agents and were going on things, and it was always kind of like they sort of had this little gold ring around them. You know what I mean? Like they were looked at in a little bit of a different way. Do you feel like your friends looked at you in a different way because there you are on TV? I mean, I know how down to earth you are, so I know you weren't thinking you were all that. But did
No.
they think that you were all that? You know what I
Oh,
mean?
no, they would put me down about it.
Really?
Like, they kept me in my place for
Okay.
sure. There was no, like, "Wow, it's so cool what you do." They'd be like, "Ugh." It was really was like that. Like, and so there's really that's I think well, I know that that's one of the reasons that I never call family or friends, like, if I get nominated for something, I don't tell anyone.
Right.
I never pick up the phone. I never brag about something awesome that's happening in my life. I, like, actually feel ashamed about it. So and that comes from the way I was treated by, my friends and kids in school.
Absolutely. I totally relate. I grew up around it too. I grew up, with having going to sets and dad being a director, and I never thought of it as that big a deal, except it was my ticket to being somewhat popular. Nobody really liked me, so if I could take you to the set, then you sort of liked me. But that attitude of this is just my family business, which is like no big deal and it's fucking hard work and all that stuff. I think that we share that quality,
I
that
also
sort of
think
down to earth
in
thing
Los
about it.
Angeles, where it
Yeah.
is a
Yeah, we're here.
business to a certain degree, it is still, yes, there is still the glow of glamour, if you will, but up until lately, it's been a major industry in
Yeah.
this town, right? So I think if you were anywhere else,
Right.
the reaction might have been different.
But if we were in Detroit, we'd be in the car business.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
everybody would, we'd just be in that business.
I lived in a 750 square foot row house, and my mom, like, put the fear of God in me that I could lose everything. So for me, I never had that thing, There was no glamour in that house. It was dirty and small and weird, and that's what I lived in. I never ever felt like that I was in something glamorous. I was kept very humble by my mom, and, even to this day, I still have, like, poor man's complex where I'm, like, really, like, stingy and frugal and scared and all of those things. I never, like except for, like, these vacations the last 3 years that we've been going on, which are out of freaking control. But I honestly, like, I mean, you know me, I always say to people that my clothes are either donated or, like like, honestly, like, everything I wear, I've stolen from a set, or not stolen, but, they give it to me. Like, I don't buy myself nice things. I don't do any of that. I lease my car. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. So I never felt that way. And, having a single mom and us living on, like, food stamps for a lot of my life, that's kind of where I grew up. And then yet I have a child who thinks that we are billionaires, and she constantly is buying crap, and I
Right.
don't understand her.
I always think there's a middle ground with that though. I think that I know there's a consciousness of lack, a consciousness of like I don't have enough and so I can't indulge myself and all that
Right.
that can promote that. Do you know what I mean? It can kind of manifest it, right?
Right.
And so I think there's somewhere in between our entitled children. I will completely cop to that as well. And also that consciousness of like, I can't treat myself. I think there's some kind of middle place.
I just want to go back, like talking about running back down the stairs and saying, no, no, I don't call the agent. I really want to do this. But then to hear you say, if you get nominated for something, you're too ashamed to tell people. So is that all part of that sense of I'm not supposed to be acknowledged for this?
Yeah, I mean, it's freaking deep, Kurt. It goes way back, and it's deep, and it sucks because I want to be able to do that, but I literally can't have it come out of my mouth. It's like I'm the person that cannot do a selfie. I can't. And I know that sounds frivolous and stupid, but it really in comparison, it's like looking at it, like taking a picture of myself by myself. Like I can't, like I get sick to my stomach. Like someone's like, can you send me, a quick thing for something that, and I'm like, I literally can't. My hands start shaking and I can't, like I get sick. So I can't do things like that. And I remember when I was younger and I was in the show called Heart of the City, and I had told this friend of mine, hey, if I ever get, too big for my britches, of course I was 13 or 14. I didn't say big for britches, but I said something relevant to that. And I said, please just let me know. And I remember we were driving by 20th Century Fox, and that's where I worked. And on the radio was The Doors playing, She's a 20th Century Fox. And I said, oh, that's so weird because that's where I work. And she came up from the back seat of the car and she whispered in my ear and she said, you're doing it. And that was it. I never, ever talked about my work ever again my whole life.
Was that the right word? Ashamed? Do you feel like a sense of ashamed that I'm successful, that I'm creating, that I'm doing that?
No, I just don't want to be that guy who talks about that. I like, because of what she said, you're doing it. It's like, I can't. And I also made a decision, like, being in a room with like a boyfriend who is talking over me and me going, you know what? He needs it more than I do. And I immediately shut my mouth. And I've been like that my whole life. I was 18 when that happened, and I'll never forget that moment. And it really was like, they need it more than you do. So just stick with that in your head. And I think, and I have been that way my entire life. I mean, I remember getting nominated for a Tony, and I was by myself in my place in New York, didn't call anyone at home, took the train up to Central Park with my dog, went and got my favorite sandwich from Candle Cafe, walked into Sheep Meadow and sat there by myself. And Michael Riedel, sorry, Michael, I don't remember what you write for, but you're Michael Riedel. And he called me and he's like, so how are you celebrating? And I said, well, I'm sitting by myself in Sheep Meadow with my dog eating my favorite Cajun sandwich. That's what I'm doing. And then I'm going to take the train down to the theater and do a show and not talk about it.
This makes me a little bit sad.
Yeah, it's sad. It sucks. I was excited. It's a fucking Tony. Like,
absolutely.
Right.
It's a Tony. And also, I mean, I look at what we do as, not to sound too hippy dippy, but I look at it as service, and the service that you have given to people through your performance and what you've done as an actor and what you dancing and say, all that stuff has made a lot of people happy. And so that to me is to be celebrated, that what you've given to others is another way to reframe it, that it's not so much, thank you, look at me. It's more like, thank you. I'm glad that I could be of service to you in some way. So that's another way to reframe it, I think.
Right. I think too, like if I look back and it's kind of, hitting me a little bit, like anytime something really good is happening, something bad is happening behind my closed doors.
I know.
So it's really hard to like be like yippee doo when I'm coming into a place. Sorry, I'm crying. When I'm coming into a place that's like terrorizing me,
I know, sweetheart.
So it's sorry.
No. This is one of the things about you that I've always, some of us come into this life with really big shoulders, having to carry very big burdens. And we don't know why.
You said that at my star ceremony. And even my fucking star ceremony, Katie, there I have this amazing thing happening to me. And I'm 106, almost 170 pounds and disabled. It was like, can I just fucking have one thing nice where I feel good at the same time?
Sweetheart.
Sorry, I'm having a therapy session. Now I'm crying.
No,
and I have mascara on too.
Yeah, but it looks pretty good. Looks kind of good. Doesn't look like it's running. Oh, my sweetheart. I do know that. I do know this about your path, which is, the other part of that is like a lot of people know that about your path. We've borne witness to a lot of the struggles that have been going on. And
I also think that to the outside world, meaning the people who only know you as actor, comedian, there's this idea that, well, they have that, so they can't, it doesn't matter what other problems they have. Do you know what I
They
mean?
can suck a dick, seriously.
No, but
That's
you know
how
what I
I
mean?
feel.
There's that
Great.
sense of
No,
like,
I know it's the way it is. though.
you have that, so you can't really complain about anything. And I think that's also, to me, that ties in with that sense of not acknowledging it because you know the truth of your struggle, and that what it is you do is you do because you love it, and it's been your path. There is nothing else attached to it. And it sucks because you're constantly getting the message from the externals that say you're blessed, you have everything, you're famous, blah blah blah. And yet when you have that struggle going on, I think that only doubles down and I think intensifies what's truly happening.
You mean the hurtful side,
Yeah,
the,
like
the
because
bad
you're not
parts,
supposed to feel bad because you have this
because you're
other
getting a
thing.
star, because you're
Yeah.
being nominated,
And-
because you're blah
Yeah,
blah.
and I had MS, and people who are rich get cancer. It's like
Yes.
this whole like thing in the zeitgeist that like if I only had this, then my life will get better. No, you can have all that, and your life can be shittier
Mhm.
than it ever was. And I wish that people like got it. It's like, and that doesn't mean all of us who are successful are having, but you know what? Most of us are having some shit going on. And I don't. There are no levels of shit. It's like okay. Like people are like, "Oh, I can't talk to you about stuff because you're going through a bad flare day." I'm like, "No, it doesn't matter." Like I'm not walking around going that my situation I'm in with multiple sclerosis is worse than yours, although most of the time it is. Sorry. But like you can't like be afraid to talk to me about what's going on with you. I may not be listening, but you can talk to me about it, but because my struggle is real to me and your struggle is real to you regardless of like the level of the decibel level of it,
Yeah, but I think what Kurt was saying, and I sort of wonder if this is the case, that's one of the reasons it's difficult for you to pat yourself on the back. It's almost like by patting yourself on the back, I wonder if that makes it just so fucking crazy because like behind the scenes, like, I mean, I remember when you were on Broadway and what was happening behind the scenes was also super shitty with the boyfriend and the whole thing. And it was like,
and my broken foot.
and your
I mean,
broken foot on Broadway. Yeah, she did. She went on Broadway and with her broken foot.
Yeah, in a dance show.
You were eating your favorite sandwich. Come on.
Yes, I was eating my favorite sandwich with a big brace on my foot. Could barely walk, but and then I had to go dance on it for 2.5 hours. But it's like it just seems like every time something amazing has happened, the stuff behind the doors is worse than
Wow. It's just big swings.
what I've ever been through. Yeah.
It's really big swings in your life. I mean,
And my favorite job I've ever had, no offense to married, but like dead to me, there was so much stuff going on in my personal life
you were
that like
amazing on it.
I can't even discuss because, we'll talk about it privately, but it's just like, and then I get MS while I'm doing it, but there was other stuff going on. And it's like, here I am doing my, like this thing that I love and that I've been waiting for my whole life and everything else is crumbling. And so I don't, I have a friend that she's highly successful and something really big happened in her life. And then all of a sudden she got cancer and she called me and she goes, "Am I being punished for the good things that are happening to me?" And that's like, and I said, "No." But then I was like, oh my God, I think that too. What is that about?
I think I'm going to just talk how I talk. I think it's a spiritual sort of situation where we do believe that whatever this universal energy is that it's around us, we have some idea that it's conditional, that it's like, if I'm a good girl, then I'm going to get all the good things. And if I'm a bad girl, I'm going to get the bad, like it's going to punish us. And so we look at our trials as humans as like some sort of universal punishment, which it's really not, that
I know. I don't believe in an unkind universe. So yeah, go ahead. It's just,
you know what I mean? But I think that that's the concept. Like when somebody says to you, "I got cancer. Am I a bad person? Did I do something wrong?" That is just sort of it's an old trope. It's an old Santa Claus, mean daddy thing.
There's a Houdini. I don't know if it's called the Houdini complex, but there is the lore is that every time Houdini achieved one of his greatest acts, is one of his greatest feats, that there would be a tragedy in his life. A mother would die, a wife would die,
Oh, I didn't know that.
and so he got to the point where he, with the, you know, like he was living in this existential terror to a certain degree, and that was wholly private for the most part.
Wow.
But he was a cat who really, you know, different time, different generation. You're not thinking like it's a kind universe. I believe he was I think he was,
Catholic?
no, I think he was Jewish. I think.
Oh, Houdini was
I
Jewish?
think so.
Wow.
And but
Google
it
that.
was a, you know, it became about, if the good thing happens, it must be balanced by the tragedy of it all.
Well, that's a real Jewish concept. It's called the Harakana. No. I'm saying the
Something-
wrong word. My Jewish friends, please. But it's really like, don't brag about your situation, because
Right.
then a bad thing is going to
But
happen.
it is that whole mentality, I think, to a certain degree, is a generational thing that, whether we like it or not, seeps in, if you will.
Right. But I think yours is more experiential
No.
in terms of that actually happening.
Yeah, I don't want it to. I'm not sitting here going, oh shit, this is good. Something is around the corner. Something's amass, you know, but it's not like that. It just seems to be like, I don't get to enjoy it. I want to enjoy it, but I'm going back behind closed doors, behind the curtain, and having to deal with real life tragedy, you know, and so I don't have the energy to go like, yay me, because what if I go yay me, then I'm taking away from the what I have to really be focusing on, which is the shit that's behind closed doors. So I don't allow myself to, and I never really have, and it sucks.
Do you want that to change?
Well, yeah, but now it's like, you know, here I am with this disease that is like, that's it. Can I work again? Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. So I don't know. I'm at a weird impasse that like it's like, you know, when you have a disease that's killing you, what do you do with that, you know?
Well, I think of the people I think of Michael J. Fox. I think of the people that do continue to work, even though they're up against really ridiculously difficult odds. And, you know, we're human beings. We go through stuff. And to be that person that has this disease and that then is able to continue to do what you love, I think, you know, that's a goal. I think that might be.
It's a goal, and maybe it's attainable. I don't know, but right now it feels very far off right now.
Well, that's for right now. I mean,
But
you know,
but you also just said, which I think is, you know, the fact that you don't believe that it's an unkind universe, right? That you, even with the yin and the yang of the success and the tragedy, that there, you know, as difficult as it is, as much as you would love to enjoy it, that you still don't believe that it's a bad world, I'm being punished, it's an unkind world, that it is, you know, it sucks, but it is what it is, you know. And I think that in itself is potent.
It's positive manifestation, really, I think.
And higher, you know, it's a higher thought.
Because the truth is, Chrissy, we've all, I mean, all the stuff you've been through, I don't know how many people would actually have continued. And I'm talking about years ago, some of the stuff you went through, that you then continued on, got through, continued on. I'm sure you were probably modeling what you saw as a kid, because it sounds like your mom had struggles and she continued on. And when you have a child, blah, 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 blah. So it's so interesting what we think as opposed to what we do. And the truth of what I've seen you do through not this adverse situation yet, you're in the middle of it, but I've seen all those other ones and I've watched you rise over it and walk through it. And
I mean, I had to. That's the thing. I had to. Right now, because I don't have a place to report, it's like I find myself more and more playing. I don't even play a little violin anymore. I play a big harp for myself, you know, like I'm like, you know, poor me. But, you know, I have the job of being a mother, and, you know, I have to take care of this kid. So that keeps me going right now. Like, that's the thing that is making me seem like a warrior, you know, an MS warrior. But I have to. There's no choice. I have a human that I'm helping through life.
Thank God.
And yeah, but before, I had a place to go.
Right.
And I had to be professional. And that's why I've always been very professional. I'm like early. I'm there. I know my shit. I got my stuff together. I'm kind. I'm, all those things. And I had to. And then I think that helped me through the shit. But, I just wrote a book and,
Ooh,
yeah. So that'll be out. I don't know if I can say, but probably spring. We're in kind of the notes part, but it's done, and it's going to be very educational for the peoples. For that whole like, you must be so happy out there. And it's like, oh, okay, let's take you back to day one. Okay, let's go back to day one.
But I think that is a really good, people, they relate to that when our people that we admire show their underbelly. And I think I think that in itself, writing a book is an adjustment to your current situation. I think it's a positive universe adjustment. That's what I would say, because not everybody would write a book right now. And I know you'd say I have to because I need to support my child.
I had to, because I had to get the shit out. That's what I've been wanting to write this for so many years. When I would tell people the stories of my life, they're like, that sounds made up. You're speaking in exaggeration, and I'm like, no, it's in my journals from the time I had journals from the time I was 10 till I was well into my 30s. I got it all written down, man. Every detail. So no. So this is all, it's from day one. And the funny thing is like a couple weeks ago, I had to go through the first draft and make notes. And there are some sections I had to put it down for like 3 days. I was like, I can't even read this. And it's my life and it's my words, but I'm getting sick, like even reading it right now. So yeah,
Well,
it's
I hope
not,
you have compassion for yourself reading that.
Yeah. Because guess what? It was usually other fuckers who were doing it to me. So there you go.
All right. There you go.
And there's that sense too. You also said I pushed through it because I had no choice, and the truth is, yeah, you did have a choice.
You do have a choice.
Right. And we see people every day that make the other choice, right? And take the softer, easier way, and so yes, in your mind, there was no other choice, but
that's who you are.
That's who you are, meaning that a lot of people would have not made that choice, right? A lot of people would have unplugged, checked out, and
yeah, I know what you're alluding to.
Yeah, a lot of very narcissistic people would not have realized that, oh, you know what? I got to figure this out because I have a kid, because I have a, you carry a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the, I did the opposite. I just dated all of those guys.
She did have some wow boyfriends, I must say.
I was their yin to their lame.
Yeah, but we were doing kind of the same thing. I was married to like
the
whoa.
other choice.
And we were, yeah, exactly. So I remember relating to you so much on those levels and watching you do what I had done and just like, whoa. But I remember being your age, being 16, and nobody could have fucking told me anything. Like, don't be careful, watch out, none of that. And I watched you just kind of take your knocks, take your bruise, and also just be strong as fuck through a lot of it. Even though it felt fragile, the fact that you got through these things is just unbelievable, really.
But you did too, and I think that comes from something within us, born into us. I do believe that, Katey, that I think that, I know a lot of people, and I can really only relate to the ones who tell me that I'm a fucking asshole, like as a joke, like it's really hard for me to be around ultra sensitive people. I get really like, oh, like, can you please shut the fuck up? Like, stop it. Just stop what you're talking about. And you're annoying me, and don't cry. Like, I get really like annoyed. And I think that could be a mechanism, obviously. But I think also it's like, I think we're just tough, Katey. We're just tough people. We don't talk. I said to my stepdaughter yesterday, and I said, I don't fucking talk in flowers, man. I just don't. And if you don't like the way that I speak or the tone that I have, there's nothing I can do about it. I don't talk in flowers.
Right. That's a great analogy. I think it does come from, I know I went through a lot of early loss, early in my 20s, people dying and all kinds of stuff. And I think it does give you a certain amount of resilience because you're familiar with the fact that this is a finite ride. You know what I mean? Like we are not immortal. We are mortal beings. And I think that when you learn that at a young age, there is something about I don't know, man. You just get through it without too much complaint.
Yeah, you can. I find myself sick in my head going wah, wah, a lot when people are talking, and I know that's horrible, but I just am like, wah, wah. Like, shut up, pull it together, man. What am I doing that? That's like so horrible too. It's like probably gave me my disease because they're saying that it's caused from trauma.
Really? Is that what they say? They say MS is caused from trauma?
There's a lot of studies going on right now. There's a couple different, that's the thing is like people are like, well, how did you get it? I said, well, if they knew how we got it, then there would be a cure for it. So hello. They're saying that it's linked a lot to childhood trauma.
Wow.
So
really?
Yeah.
Well, I do believe that mind-body connection. I think that all definitely has validity. So,
can I ask you, do you remember, I'm just curious, do you remember the first big thing that you gave Chrissy advice on?
Did I give Chrissy advice on?
Yeah. Like,
oh God.
Like what that sort of locked you in terms of that that maternal.
Well, she's probably knows better. I think, I don't know. I think it was my vibe mostly. And I really cared about her.
Right.
Like, and I don't know why you felt I was a safe space, but I pretty quickly became a safe space for you. So do you remember? I don't know.
It was a boy thing or?
It probably was a boy thing, or don't drink and drive or something,
Yeah, well, yeah. But I think it was more that you just looked in my eyes and you knew that I was having some bad shit going on. And I just knew that you understood me and were not going to judge me. And I felt very safe with you in that sense. I don't think I brought my home life onto set too much, but I would bring it in energy, I think sometimes. And because it was undeniable, there was so much stuff going on in my life during those 11 years. And you just like were a place that I felt like she gets me. And you would just look at me and I'd go, okay, I have an ally here. And that's how I felt, because I think everybody else, no shit to anybody, but just was kind of didn't, or was annoyed by, I don't know, like when my mom was going through cancer, I was going through a lot. Like I was pretty sad a lot, and I was kind of, trying to find my way spiritually, and I wasn't into like sarcasm and shit talking and negativity, and I was trying to uphold this thing to get through, and I kind of felt like I didn't belong really with everybody because
on the set
I was
show.
I spoke in flowers.
Right.
Maybe that's why I don't speak in flowers.
Maybe that's why, because you went through that period where there was a lot of agape, there was a lot of Michael Beckwith.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with that at all. But you were definitely, and the vibe on our set was so freaking cynical. I mean, we were a sarcastic, cynical bunch. You weren't safe, really. You were going to get, you turned your back, somebody's going to talk shit on you.
I could hear being talked shit about in my dressing room on the monitor in my room. Like I'd come up from rehearsal and like I could hear everybody on set like literally talking shit about me. And I was like, wow, I was just there 20 seconds ago. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was that kind of environment. Yeah. But I think probably because I was new to my sobriety and I was trying to learn how to not be a shit talking gossip, blah, 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 and to kind of also on a spiritual path at the same time. So I probably that thing just felt safe, whatever that, I can't explain it either, but I know that shit talking was not too much of my vocabulary at that time.
You were not. And I definitely was not. I've even for years and years and years, like even with like parents at my kids, like elementary school, they'd be sitting there and gossiping. And I'd be like, I'm going to have to walk away. Like, I can't be a part of this. I also still don't gossip, but I will complain about you, but I won't gossip about you. Right. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
it does. I think that totally makes sense. Yes, I think there are too.
But I'm also like, now I'm just more blunt because I don't have time. Like if someone's annoying, I'm going to say they're annoying. And I feel bad about it, but also I don't have time. I don't have time for annoying. I can only surround myself with the people that like are on like that I've known for 30 plus years. That's all I can do.
Right.
The people that know me really well.
Right. And that, I get it. And, I feel like that also that comes with what you're going through and disastrous things. It also comes with age. It also comes as we get more mature, that we're just sort of like, you know what? I don't have time. I don't have time for this. This is not something I want. But I want to go back to what you said about you have low tolerance for really sensitive people. And what's interesting is, to me, you were a very sensitive teenager. And all those years I knew you, you were a very sensitive. I mean, you were such an interesting combination of, I got this, I'm tough. And then underneath, you were just like a mush. And I just felt like, oh my gosh, somebody has to protect her. She's just got her, I could just feel you. And I do believe that's still in there, that little sensitive girl that's now having to really protect herself from, what's happening.
That's also, it's why people, you always say people suddenly come up to you and before you know it, they're telling you their life story.
Oh, me.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think you have that maternal energy that you can't help but see who people are.
Right.
And the fact that, there's a safety in that for everyone. And
or not. The older I get, I'm going to call you out.
Yeah, but still, there's yes,
yes,
there's
no,
there perhaps the capacity is reduced, but the intent and the ability is still there, and I still feel it between the two of you.
Yeah, I know,
and even it's a bond. I think that it's almost, it can't happen with family of origin just by the nature of the experience of growing up with somebody, that to have somebody from the outside be able to provide that level of connection.
Oh yeah,
I think is pretty,
we've experienced it with our kids, with our youngest in particular. She has very connected to us, but she also has some other people in her life that have been sort of on the periphery of her life, but very close to that she has really tight bonds with.
Yeah.
And I do believe in her teenage brain, she thinks that they see her clearer than we see her.
Right.
And I don't know if Sadie has that. I don't know if Sadie has somebody in her, you know what I mean? Like, you know how our teenagers push back against us. That's how they know they feel safe enough with us to, throw shit at us. But the truth is, like, if I know for Esme, she's got a few people that she thinks they know her in a deeper way, I would say. And I don't know if Sadie has that.
She, unfortunately, is like her mother and doesn't like when people are crying.
Oh.
So she's kind of a dick. But that's her mechanism, But she and I will sit and talk about stuff, and she'll cry and tell me the truth. And because she knows that, like, I get it. I get her. And I'm always telling her, like, I get you. You're your own person, but I get you. I also know when you're fucking lying. Because don't bullshit a bullshitter. Isn't that what they always used to say?
Yep.
So I'm like, I know when you're lying. And so don't fucking lie to me. And so then that's how our conversations usually start. Not usually with me cussing at her. Well, probably. But just being really honest about stuff. And it's big. It's big stuff that she's got going on inside. And but her group of friends are all very much like her in the sense of, like, the way they dress, the music they listen to, their neurodivergence, they're all the things. They're all this little group of these cool chicks and one boy who's awesome, and they do everything together, but they're all dealing with, like, things, from autism to ADHD to whatever the case may be. They all are in this together, and it's kind of beautiful to watch. They're just such cool kids together. There's no, like, chick shit. There's none of that, because some are not even, some are trans and transgender and, they, thems and stuff like that. They're all like these really kind of cool group of kids that I don't know if they talk candidly with one another or spill their guts, but I just know that they kind of know that the other person sees them. And that's really, I'm really grateful for that.
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
How old is you?
How old's Sadie now?
14.
Wow, that's
That
pretty
is so fantastic that she has a little tribe like that. That is
Yeah,
really...
and they're awesome kids, and they're all really smart. And Sadie's really smart too. School was a bit of a shit show this year, but not because she's not smart, but because she was going through some stuff. But now we've got her a place where she's got people to talk to, and I think it's getting better.
Yeah, we had
in
our
that respect.
Yes, we
I know you
understand
had
that. Yep.
Yeah, I know.
And ours miraculous. I mean, we're just blown away at every turn as she's graduating from high school. And
No, she's not. She's at neighborhood school, and she's in.
Oh, you mean Esme?
Yeah, exactly.
Esme's at neighborhood school.
Thank you. That's exactly right.
That's exactly.
No.
That's what Kurt would like to think.
She's
that
3 years old.
She's at neighborhood school with Debbie.
That's right.
And everyone.
Yes, and PJ. And
that's right. And PJ.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's
and the
right.
chickens.
That's where she is right
Katie
now.
Cooper. And
We have to go
That's
pick
where
her
they
up,
are.
and she's going to be covered in mud and chicken feathers.
That's what
and
Kurt would like.
naked. We love it there. That's all I know of Esme. She's not. My girlfriend said to me the other day, she's like, yeah, when Violet turned 20, I said, no. No.
That did not happen.
That didn't. No, I'm sorry.
Thank you for
mistaken.
supporting me in that.
Oh,
No.
that's so sweet. That's exactly how Kurt feels.
She went to a social for her new college last night for the incoming students.
No,
and
don't
I was in the fucking sauna crying like a baby, just like
Yeah, it's
and
a
it's
big
all
change.
good shit. It's just all good. And yeah, it's deep, man. It's deep.
No, I don't like it. Like Sadie's starting 9th grade in September, and that's high school now.
Mm-hmm.
See, when I was a kid, I don't even like saying middle school. Why is that weird to me? It's junior
we
high.
didn't have
It's
middle school.
junior high. We had junior high.
We had grammar
7, 8,
school
9.
and high school.
Oh,
That's what
see,
we
that's
had.
where you in New Jersey.
On the East Coast, it was grammar school. You had grammar school was 1st through 8th, and then high school was 9 through 12.
Right.
K through 6 was one school. Then you went to junior high, 7, 8, 9, and then you went to high school,
That's
10,
right.
11, 12.
That's
That's
what
what
we
you
know.
did.
Yeah.
So
No, it's all
bizarre to
different.
me.
Yeah.
Stupid. It's
It's
stupid. Why'd they change it? Like, was that a big mental fuck for all the kids? Like, what is going on? Why is...
We don't like to be called junior.
We don't like to be called junior. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, junior high school is just not in the vernacular anymore.
Yeah.
Like
No.
people don't go to junior high school.
Sadie gets mad at me when I'm like, oh, because, the junior high. She goes, it's middle school. I'm like, but it's not. Like, technically, if you look at the numbers, it's not in the middle. Come on, guys.
Let me ask you something, because we like to talk about parenting a lot too. So here you are, and you've parented yourself a lot growing up.
Yeah.
Like that's where I'm getting.
Nancy Pretty, you are totally a parent.
Yes, Nancy Pretty, you are totally a parent. But there was a lot of on your own parenting yourself going on. How are you learning? Which I'm sure it's experiential. I'm probably answering my own question. How to parent differently, I would say, or to parent. Like I remember raising my little ones and hearing my dad's voice come out of my mouth and it scaring the shit out of me. I was like, oh no, I'm not going to be that mom. I'm not going to do that. So I'm wondering what tools or what do you think? That's a big ass question.
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, Katie. But my mom's parenting advice, most of which I can't even repeat on this podcast, because it's so wrong. I mean, not that the parenting advice was wrong. The way it was said was real, not woke. So I'm not going to say what she said, but I get the tone. I get the underlying message. And so I try to do that with Sadie, except for with more PC ways of saying it.
Right. Respectful ways of saying.
Oh my God. I will send you the things that she would say to me are like so wrong, like as wrong as it could be, but the underlying message is pretty powerful. So I try to do that with her. I know people say you shouldn't be friends with your kid. They can go suck a dick. That's my best friend. I don't care. That's my best friend, but I'm also her mother. So she has a mutual respect with me and I have with her, but she also understands when I'm pissed and that I'm not on par with what she's talking about and that I don't approve. And she respects that. So I think, I mean, she's also a really good actress in the sense of like, she's like, I totally understand, Mom. And then, I know she's probably full of it, but it's like communication is a huge, for this age right now, is huge for us right now. If she goes and retreats to her room, I'm like busting down the door, like, no, we're not doing that.
But I bet you're the mom that apologizes. Like, I remember my parents never apologized. And I am very cognizant of being accountable when I'm wrong and telling my kids, I'm sorry, I was wrong. You know what I mean? Which I think right there is the difference in communication from possibly Nancy and definitely my parents. There was never any like, oh, I made a mistake and maybe I shouldn't have said that to you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, with my mom, she doesn't remember the shit she did or said or the things that happened, like she's at that age where she's like, I never meant, but she actually recently, she started to read my book. She got through 2 pages. I said something negative about her and she's like, I did my best. And she wouldn't read anymore. So it's kind of where like we're at that place. But she has said when I told her about certain things that had happened under her watch that were pretty devastating, she has apologized for not being aware that those things were happening under her roof to me. I think with Sades, I just try to, if I say something wrong or if I raise my voice, which isn't really that loud anymore, I always apologize. And I come to her and say, I should have handled that better. And, I'm here for you. I love you. I'm always here for you. And no matter if you piss me off to the point of like, I'm seeing red, I'm never going to leave your side. Like you always have me to depend on. And what's happened recently is that she'll say something horrific or do something horrific to me. And I just go quiet. And I walk away quietly because inside I want to like break everything everywhere. And I go and I just sit. I'll sit and cry by myself. And eventually she'll come out of her room and come and hug me and say, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I was saying that. And I don't know why I did that to you. And I love you. And, then we'll watch Love Island.
Similar to you, Kurt.
Yeah.
Kurt's
It's
been
very
practicing
much
that too.
It's really, I think the most important thing, and, I think some of my generation did not get, and not because of bad people. It was, it was just a different time, different circumstances, different tools or lack thereof. Is I do believe that all our kids truly know that they're loved and safe. And I think that is the key, that even when you're pissed, even when you're frustrated, even when you're disappointed, which of course is the worst thing to know, that that beyond all that, they're loved and they're safe and you're not going anywhere. And, if that is set, and if that is truly gets ingrained,
But I also think the lesson of detachment. I mean, I know how much I've learned from my kids.
Right.
Like exactly what you just said, which is like I've learned how to walk away rather than to stand there and defend,
that one took
argue
Right,
the point,
and try to win.
and try to win.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can't win with a fucking teenager.
No.
Because they're not going to succumb. They're not going to back down. They're like,
That's right.
You can't win at any age.
yeah, they're so id. I think it's better to just shut your mouth and just be like,
Absolutely.
And you know what? They fucking hate that because they know they've disappointed you.
Mhm.
Right.
And you're not going to react. I mean, I remember, and I know we talked about Reverend Michael Beckwith, who still is a huge part of my life after 35 something years, whatever. He said one time that he was in a grocery store and this little boy was acting up, screaming and throwing things and doing the things that little boys do. And the mom's just screaming at him. And the more she was screaming at him, the worse he was getting. And he remembers that his mom used to go down to his level, look him in the eye, and quietly ask him to stop. And he said he would get so fucking scared that he would stop. And it was such a beautiful thing. It's like what we do to the universe. Like people do to the universe, like, please, God, give me this. The universe doesn't react to that. The universe reacts to a calm intent. And he said his mom would scare the shit out of him when she would get down to his level, eye to eye, and quietly say it. And I've always remembered that. And I think that is how I try to do with Sadie. Now, there was a period of time during the first year of COVID and a bunch of other shit that I was a total a-hole. And so was she. She was horrible. And we were all horrible, I think, across the universe, the world. People were losing their minds. And this was a house of, what's that house of, when you go to the fun house, like with the fun mirrors. It was just fucked up. It was just a fucking fun mirror house.
I try to do that with network executives.
Just
get
quietly
quiet.
look down into the.
Yeah, I get down on their level. I kneel down quietly. I get really close and I look into their eyes and I say, that was a really stupid fucking note.
And how does that go for you?
Sometimes not so well.
Sometimes it works, sometimes not so much.
Sometimes I find myself having to work someplace else.
There you go. Well, I think saying that was a stupid fucking note is
But I said it quietly.
no, I don't, Kurt. I think it's more like, I understand your point of view. It's not my point of view.
Oh, okay.
See,
yeah, that
make
makes
them
more
think that they're
sense.
coming up with the most brilliant thing in the world. Anyway, my mom used to say to me, hey, when you go into an audition, they need you more than you need them. And that was a big, powerful thing for me growing up and auditioning and with stuff, is like, they need you more than you need them. So you can just let that shit go. Like, I don't know. That has nothing to do with Sadie. That was just my.
No,
I think raising
Oh my God,
teenagers.
Sadie's here.
Sadie's there?
I'm on my podcast with Katey and Kurt. Do you want to say hi? Come say hi.
Hi, Sadie.
Hey, Sadie.
Oh, she
Well, she
probably
can't
can't
hear you.
hear
Hold on.
us.
Here,
Where is
I'll
she?
do this so you can say hi. Here.
Wow, look
Hi,
at you.
baby.
Dark hair. Love that. Beautiful.
She looks like Joan Jett. She's got like full on I love rock and roll hair right
She's
now.
gorgeous. Look at that
Yep.
girl. Hi,
Wow, look
Sadie.
at that skin.
Hello.
Wow.
So beautiful.
So beautiful.
So she's taking this class at her school, and they all put in anonymous questions. It's not really a sex ed, it's human development. So it covers all the bases, including that. And one of
Including
the
sex. Yes.
including the sexes. But it's not a sex ed class. So it's, friends and, I'm just making excuses. It's basically sex. Okay, so someone put an anonymous question in that said, if I put my dick in a snowman, am I still a virgin?
What? Wow.
Wow.
Wow. What's the
Wow.
answer?
The answer is
I
No,
think when
you're
you're
a
a
whore.
teenage boy, you're putting your dick everywhere.
yeah.
You're putting your
I
dick in
think-
everything, right? As a teenage boy. So apparently he asked the teacher what a body count is, which is a newfangled way of saying how many people have you boned.
Right.
Oh, really? I thought that was a dead person thing.
No,
It's
body count is
How many
how
have
many
you
people you
boned?
fucked. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
your fuck list.
Yeah.
Just learned
I
something
think
new.
I think if you put your penis in the snowman, you're still a virgin. However, if
Yeah.
you do something with the carrot,
If you
that-
put the carrot up your ass,
yeah, that
are you
may-
still a virgin?
I don't think so. I think you are a veggie whore.
Maybe that's.
I think you're a root vegetable whore. I think at that point, you're a root whore, a rooter. I don't know.
And if you take a bite out of it, you're a freako.
Oh well,
Oh, yeah.
that's
Please don't let my brain work, because this is how my brain works. I'm like thinking of someone sticking the carrot up their butt and just being
Yeah.
like, "Mwah."
But outside in the cold, it's like a
Bugs
popsicle.
Bunny.
You know,
like a pop. Oh, you guys would get on.
Oh.
You guys will get on.
No, Kurt, I think that we're gonna be best friends. You also look like someone that I hate, but you're very good looking.
I get that a lot.
I just recently hated the person, so it's all
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Very
well,
handsome, very handsome fella.
Thank you.
He
And
is a very
it's good to
handsome
be hated.
fella.
I don't hate you.
I know.
We know,
It's good.
but we mutually hate this person you hate now. We hate
Yeah.
that person.
All right, let's not hate.
Let's not hate. Okay,
think-
yeah. I was going to make one analogy between raising teenagers and getting somebody sober, because I
you're
think it's
saying
the
stick
same
your dick in
concept.
a snowman.
No, I think
Yeah.
I think the concept is of detachment is like when you detach from a teenager and stop trying to change them. It's just like when you stop trying to get somebody sober by letting them feel the own consequences of their actions. So what Sadie is doing when you detach and you don't say anything, she's feeling what she did. And then she's quickly not wanting to do that to you.
Mhm.
Whereas if you fought back,
Yeah.
then she's justified.
You're
Then she's like, Mom is an asshole, right?
Yeah, and then the everything comes out, and then the conversations are happening with other people, and it's like then it's the worst.
It's also suddenly whenever I would, because I would do that with Esme, I would get triggered and blah blah blah, and suddenly now I'm the 8-year-old, right? The adult has left the fucking room. It's just whatever age she is, I am also that age, arguing with her. So I am also the 8-year-old screaming, and there is no adult in the room,
Right.
So
But that's like because there's like that thing with humans that we have to be right.
exactly.
The thing is, no one's gonna fucking succumb to that. I've realized that. Like, I've realized that I can be right in my mind. I'm like done. That's what I always say. Like, if they need it more than you do, like, in one hand, that philosophy that I told myself was about shutting myself up, but also sometimes I'm just like, ugh,
Let them have it.
yeah, you're right. And in my head, I'm like, you're a bitch, and I'm flipping them off in my head. So I won because I know I'm right.
Right.
I don't
Well,
need
there's a
everyone to know I'm
balance.
right.
It's just life is a balance.
I know.
It's
I'm
like there's-
sorry.
This is the segment where, first of all, you picked my favorite pie. So, but we want to know, we ask our guests about, first of all, this is where you get to plug anything you might want to plug, like your podcast. You also get to tell us why is this particular pie your favorite pie? Do you have any reason?
Let's see what it is.
Oh, it's cherry pie.
Honestly, I'm not a sweets person, and this is the least sweet pie. And then I also thought of Cherry Pie, that song from the 80s with the hairs, with the people with the hair.
Oh,
Mm.
my
She's
cherry
pie. Dink, dink, dink. See, that's how much I see.
think
Everyone
that
thought
was
that I
that-
was into this music. I'm like
My
literally don't
assistant will
even
know
know.
this. Is that Whitesnake?
Is it Whitesnake?
What
Who
was
is
it?
it?
Warren.
Warrant.
I can't fucking believe you know that.
Our very young
Yes.
assistant knows
that-
the name of the band.
Yeah.
Is that
Patrick
Brett
knows
Michaels? Is
uh,
Brett Michaels?
Oh, is
in
it Brett
Warrant?
Michaels? Even though Brett Michaels was definitely that. Oh, this pie is so good.
Yeah.
He did? He looked
yeah.
like Brett Michaels?
Didn't they all?
Yeah,
look
they all.
exactly
Yeah,
the
they
same?
all
They all
look
had,
like Brett
they're all losing
No,
their
you know what they
hair.
fucking needed was some Kerastase, dude. I swear to God, it's like, did anyone tell them that their hair looked damaged?
I know.
Like,
and,
really-
and they were all losing their hair.
Wasn't
so
Brett
they
Michael
had
the one that wore the handkerchief?
the bandana,
kerchief?
'cause he was
Yeah, the
bald.
bandana.
Right.
Right.
Anyhow, I can't. Yes, it was Warren.
Oh, good.
So good. Oh, this is a really good one.
Yeah. It's Sweet Lady Jane.
Sadie's sitting here and she just took the box away from me with the pie in it. So
She should have some. Sadie,
she
eat
is
some
having
pie.
some.
So can you tell us a little bit about the book, or
Anything you might
I
want to
know it's still in.
promote or
I wish I could tell you the title, but I can't right now. It's from day one, and I want people to start to like know about it because it's happening. It's a happening, and I've worked really hard on it for over a year now, and it's everything that no one knows. It's everything.
and we think it'll come out in spring, right?
That's our goal.
Okay. And will there also be you probably don't know this yet, but is there an audio version of it?
I will be doing that myself.
Oh, fantastic.
But you can send that to your mom.
Yeah, I you know what? Without disclosing too much, I went and changed some things in there because, I didn't want it. When I first started writing it, I was coming from a real pissed off place. So no one was safe. And I had to realize, like, that's not fun it's fun for people to read, like, how shitty shit was, but also there were great things too. And I can't deny that, and I can't deny that my mom was always there and that we did have really amazing things happen. And she wasn't the problem. My mom was never the problem. It was circumstantial. It was things that were around. It was what was let into our world that kind of damaged me for good. And then when, also like stuff about my dad that I was like pissed off, about or whatever. And he really didn't do anything wrong except to go fucking take care of himself because he needed to go do what he had to do for himself. And I didn't at the time realize that, but after his passing, like just recently, I had to really I really started thinking about these things. And so we've made some, some changes, and I'm not sugarcoating everything. Everything is going to be exactly how I originally wrote it, from my fear, my anger, all that stuff. But also I want to honor both of these people and because there are really good things about both of them.
I wrote a book about, I don't know, 6 years ago now.
It's Grace, right?
Grace
what is it?
Notes. Grace
Grace
Notes.
Notes. Yeah, I have it downstairs, and
Super hard to do. But I remember really wanting to not hurt my family, my brothers and sisters, and my current family, my husband, my kids, because I wrote about everybody. And I gave them copies beforehand because I just wanted to be, I get it. You just want to be sensitive and not, have your trauma cause more trauma, for them.
Right. But the problem is, hold on, I'm chewing. It's a really good pie, guys. But Sadie and I both have misophonia. Levels of it, hers is worse, which is the sound of people chewing. So I'm going to do this really quickly.
Wow.
Not for you guys. You guys are, you're not bothering me.
Oh, you mean it bothers you?
It bothers you
freaks
when you hear
out?
people chewing?
I'm not so much at chewing as bags. Like if someone's eating out of a bag of like chips or breathing heavy.
That's a thing?
Yeah, it's called misophonia. For your listeners, look it up.
I think you might have that, Kurt.
I want to say, every time somebody mentions a phobia on our podcast, she just looks at me. She goes, I think that's you. So,
Well, you should learn about misophonia.
Apparently I'm riddled with.
Sadie, what's the name of that movie with Kate Blanchett? That's Tar. There's a movie called Tar.
Oh.
And it's about a woman who is a conductor, correct?
Oh, yeah, I saw
and-
that movie.
It's about her having misophonia. So
It is?
the sounds, that she has sound issues. And Sadie
Right.
like literally has to wear headphones at school because she can't deal with chewing, breathing, sticky sounds in breath. Like I can't deal with that stuff too, but
So it's auditory processing. Auditory processing?
yeah. But it is like it's not a phobia. It's actually like a condition. And more people have it than you know. But mine's getting worse. I don't know why, but yours is getting better. Sadie's is getting better. But she was so bad that you couldn't even be in a car with her. If you were breathing or anything, she would like almost throw herself out of the car. Chewing, having dinner together, all those things has been challenging. It's something that people should look up because they might be feeling that way and thinking that they're just annoyed by people. No, it's actually like an auditory condition. And
I think it can probably reboot itself from if Sadie's saying she's feeling, but the brain, which we've learned a lot about in young people, is constantly changing, is pliable.
well, it's till they're 25.
Yeah, and it's not like us older people where we're kind of like our brain is kind of locked. For kids, their brain is constantly changing. So yes, hers can get better. Hers can definitely
Esme had like
auditory
it
stuff.
was like almost like auditory dyslexia. Like her ears weren't syncing up, so you couldn't have the radio on and be talking at the same time.
Oh yeah, no, that can't happen here.
And it was fucking her up in school, and we didn't understand why she wasn't learning properly.
Did they give her accommodations for that? See, if you didn't know about it, then you couldn't have told the school. Like, I have to tell the school she has this, and she cannot take a test in a room with kids.
She used it. It was an app. She had headphones, and she did it for about 2 months, and it was just exercises, and it basically rebooted her ears. But it was a common condition that the brain didn't make the adjustment on its own, but these exercises retrained the way she listened, and within 2 months, she cleared it up.
We took her to an auditory specialist because she couldn't, she had so many sensitive issues. And that, I think she had to like listen to music in one ear and listen to something else in another ear. It just retrained it.
And an app. And she would do these exercises and she would listen to it for 20 minutes a day. And within 2 months,
she was cool.
It basically synced up.
We can find the app.
Her ears. Yeah.
Okay. Let me know.
All that stuff you find out where it appears to be behavioral. So you find out that happens. We found out she needed glasses. She couldn't see the fucking board.
Right.
And they can't tell you. They can't say, hey, I can't see. All that, they just feel.
When they're little.
They just feel like, oh, I don't know how to do that. And then they respond, behaviorally.
Right.
So, but yeah, that
people
stuff.
think you're a problem. But really, you can't hear or see.
Well, yeah. And you know what I felt for me was when stuff was coming up with her that I was like, you're making it up, or, like, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, right? Well, Sadie knows this. She just looked at me and flipped me off. I was like, come on, get it together. Like, that was the thing, like, get it together. And then when you start really reading about these things and you meet people who have been going through the same stuff, and whether it be ADHD or the misophonia or whatever, POTS, like she has POTS, which is she'd be like, I'm feigning in PE. And I was like, oh, you just don't want to do PE. No, that she got tested for POTS, which is like pretty serious condition. And, it came back with a pretty bad, a severe case of it. And, then you go, oh shit, I'm such an asshole because you just want them to be perfect because, oh my God, now I have to we have to do everything for this. But you know what? Now we're good. And she tells me how she's feeling and I listen and then we fix stuff.
And here's the really good news, Chrissy. You are able to
Yeah.
provide those things for her.
I know.
I often think of everything we've provided for all our children. And I just think I'm so grateful that we were fortunate enough to be able to do that because imagine, there's so many families not in that situation
Right.
where they can provide the proper stuff.
The resources.
But I think sometimes it isn't even okay. And I totally agree. I'm just saying sometimes it's just listening to your kid.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
that's true.
Absolutely.
that's kind of, there's no medication for POTS.
What is POTS?
POTS is, wait, say what it is, Sades?
Postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome.
Whatever she said. Post-orthopedic tachycardia.
Postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome.
Okay.
Wow.
So basically, when she stands up, she gets dizzy. If she's having to walk up a hill, she gets dizzy and faints. Her legs, she has asthma attacks. Her legs go numb. Just shit like that. And you know what? Yes, she's on a medication because she has a really severe version of it.
A very severe. It's
Okay.
moderate.
Okay. Thank you. So, okay. Like she likes to cry. I'm never right. It's totally fine. Anywho. So, this is my life. It's now or never. Why am I singing 80 songs? Because I'm talking to you. There's this stuff called buoy, which is like a salt hydrating drip thing. You put it into water. Like that's all you need to do. Like
Right.
salt
Right.
is actually really good for POTS. It actually helps. So it doesn't have to be some kind of big thing.
No, but
That's what I'm saying.
somebody
It's
had to tell you that. You had to go and dig around to figure that out.
It was on the line.
Oh, but even to discover she had POTS, I understand saying listen to your kids, and you do listen to your kids, and that's the first step, and then you take the next step,
But
which
I
is
also feel
figuring
like
out what it is.
For us though, I always, we joke and something will happen and we'll make the adjustment with our kid. And then we'll just look at each other and going, could you imagine saying that to your dad? Or
Right.
your mom? We were raised with that sense of like,
To be seen and not heard.
yeah, but also, stop complaining. You're trying, I know what you're doing. And there was no encouragement to actually hear what might be going on with your child. Not that
Yeah.
our parents were evil. It was just,
No, but that was how they were. That was the
yeah,
generation.
that's what you did to children,
Yeah. My mom, I wouldn't tell her stuff because I knew that she would probably cry because she was, a broken woman. But she always said to me, the only years I actually hated you, and I'm going to say that word because that's what she said, was when I was 13 or 14. Like hated my guts. And that was the relationship. So I'm trying not to do that because I love my kid. What?
You hate me?
Fuck no, I don't hate you. Oh my God, Sadie's just asking. I was talking about your grandmother.
All right. So, is there anything else like your book and talk about your podcast where people can get it?
Messy, spelled with a big M and a little E, a big S, and I don't know how to spell messy right now. It's my friend Jamie Lynn Siegler and I, who both have multiple sclerosis, but we do have episodes. It's just the two of us talking about all things from MS to parenting to heartbreak to people that annoy us. And then we have kind of the most amazing roster of guests, I think, of any podcast. I think what we're missing at this point is Barack Obama. I think that would put us on a list of the greatest group of people ever. So if anyone wants to listen to it, you can get it on Spotify or anywhere you get your podcasts. And look, if you haven't listened to it, go back to like day one. Our first interview was Martin Short to Katie, to Ed, to Dave. We
Right.
completed that beautiful picture, but we got Will Ferrell and Judd Apatow today, and like all sorts of people. Like it's kind of an amazing roster of amazing people and doctors and people going through what we're going through. Oh, and Sadie is pointing to herself. Yes, we did an episode with Sadie
Yay.
last year, and it was a great episode of just talking about being a teenager and also living with a mom with MS or all the things. And it was very honest and beautiful, and she was amazing. So
Okay.
please
I love
listen to
that.
it because
Yes.
that's mommy's job right now.
We love that mommy is doing a job. Once
Mhm.
again, a testament to your resilience. Once again, something that not everybody in your situation would do, honey. They just
But they
wouldn't.
can do it from bed. See, that's the beauty
Well,
of it.
Yeah, that's
Do it from
true.
bed.
Do it from bed.
I can
I-
smell as much as I want to smell, and ain't nobody giving a shit.
All right, my darling.
I
think
love
we
you,
gotta-
Katie Segal.
I
And
love
I
you,
love
honey.
you, Kurt.
Thank
I want to
you.
meet you and hang out with you.
Let's hang out. And
Well, maybe he has to come over and hang out in bed with you
You have to
because
go-
that's
Yeah.
what we do.
yeah.
Yeah, you just might have to put a mask on because you really do remind me of someone I hate.
Okay.
Anyway,
I love you.
Or wear padding so you can punch me.
no, I would love to know you because I know that that's my mommy's
I do know
person.
that, and I know.
And you're the person.
I do
and
feel like
He's
it's
a good
interesting.
one.
I feel like I do know you
Yeah, he kind of does.
more than I actually do because of that relationship and the way she speaks of you and the love. It's quite evident. But yes, let us complete the circle.